On today's video, we're going to talk about the most underrated soft plastic color available. Let's get it. So you head to the store to buy some soft plastics and you walk down the aisle and you see all these crazy shapes in all these different colors to choose from. And as a new bass angler or a seasoned bass angler, there's always going to be some colors that you know will catch fish. Say for instance, this right here, this green pumpkin, gold flake, and purple flake. This is an absolute catcher. Any variation of green pumpkin, you know it's going to catch fish. Anywhere you go in the country, that bad boy right there will get them. Here's another one. This color right here is blue crawl. This is a green pumpkin with a blue swirl in it. Absolute fish catcher. Black and blue. Black and blue catches them. Dark tannic water, muddy water. That's what you want to be throwing, right? Here's another variation. June bug. This is more of a purple color, has green flake in it. Catches fish all over the place. Then you got your reds. You got some variations of blues with blue flake. And then you got some really crazy colors, like this bubble gum right here. You look at it, you say there's no way that thing will catch fish, right? It will. It will absolutely catch them. But out of all those colors that I just showed you, there is one color that I believe to be the most underrated flipping bait that you can ever use. And this color has caught so many fish for me in muddy water. Dark tannic water is where it really shines. And that is none other than this bad boy right here. This looks like a crazy, crazy bright blue, right? This is a swamp water blue rage bug. And there are lots of variations of this color. So sapphire blue, emerald blue, and this one, like I said, is swamp water blue. And like, there's a lot of variations of this bright blue, and a lot of people do not use it because when they look at it, they say that is the brightest blue that I've ever seen. But I'm telling you, for a flipping bait or for a jig trailer, like a black and blue jig with that bright blue sapphire trailer on there, it is an absolute catcher. So I'm going to go over the types of water that I like to use this in, and you know, just the color of the water, the different areas and all of that, where this thing really shines. And on this color is what I caught my biggest bass ever on a 12-pound, 3-ounce giant on a swamp water blue rage bug just like this. So let's go ahead and get to talking about why I feel like this color is so good. So growing up from a very young age, I would fish this very river that we're out here on today. And me and my dad, we did a lot of fishing. We would be out on the water several days a week. You know, when I was out on my school break, I spent literally every day out on the water fishing. And through all that time, I figured out that the color blue was one of the most consistent colored soft plastics that I could use when I was fishing a Texas rig in general or using as a jig trailer. Now, typically back then, I would use a color called electric blue. We would use a small little 4-inch worm in electric blue, which is a little bit shinier than this, but it caught a lot of fish, and we caught a lot of big fish using it. And back then, the river used to get a little bit clearer than it does now. The river doesn't clear up quite as good as it used to in this area, but still, blue has always produced. And you know, like I said, this one right here is swamp water blue, but I'm going to go about how I kind of figured out that this color was so good. So years ago, and we're talking 30 years ago, literally 30 years ago, I went in a small tackle store that we had locally, and there was some crawls on the shelf, and the color was sapphire blue. I thought they looked good. I bought them, got home, I threw them in my tackle bag. I told my dad, I said, look, I got these blue crawls. They look really, really good, and I'm gonna give them a try sometime. So me and him, we were back there fishing out of the John boat. I was fishing with a green pumpkin crawl, absolutely catching the fish pretty good. And I ran out, and I said, well, Dad, you know, they're on this crawl bite really good. I'm gonna put on that sapphire blue. And I put that sapphire blue on and absolutely destroyed the bass that day. It was insane. I caught them so good, caught big ones. Me and my dad were like, man, like that color catches them, like really good. I went out and bought every pack that store had. I ordered them directly from the company, and I've caught just a ton of fish on this color since then. You know, this color really excels in dark tannic water. So say like your Florida areas, you know, down south where you have these tannic rivers and tannic lakes where you have that really dark tea looking color. And then also it's really good in muddy water as well, especially like muddy lakes. If you have lakes that are very muddy, this color works really good. It works good in late winter, and it works really good throughout the spring and through the summer as well, all the way into the fall. But it's really good in the summer. And really, once we get here in Virginia, when I get towards the end of February and the water creeps up to 50 degrees or so, that's when I break out the sapphire blue. Now, if I'm throwing a jig, a black and blue jig, I always have on a sapphire blue trailer. I always throw a sapphire blue trailer or a bright blue trailer to match up with that jig. It just absolutely gets bit. But it's something about this color, especially like tidal rivers, like a tidal river like the Chickahominy River. This color absolutely crushes them. And I think a lot of the reason for that is in these tidal rivers and in these, you know, rivers out towards the coastline down in Carolina and like you got like Florida and all, I think it's a lot of blue crabs in these waters, and the fish are used to seeing blue crabs. The same with these tidal rivers. You get that blue and they see that blue on these crabs, and they associate that with a crab or a crawfish that is molting. You know, crawfish change to that blue color a lot of times when they're molting. And this right here is just a really good imitation of that color. And like I said, and even back when the river that I fished got super clear, this color produces well. So I think in rivers, it's just a really good color. Now, a lot of people see me with this blue tide on, and they're like, how do you throw that bright blue? That blue is so bright. Like, how does anything bite that? And I always tell them, you need to throw it for yourself and come back and talk to me after you use them, because you're gonna catch fish on it. And not only are you gonna catch fish, you're gonna catch big fish. I mean, my biggest bass ever, a 12+ pounder, came on this color. I've caught so many 7-pounders, 6-pounders, 5-pounders. I've won so many tournaments and placed well in so many tournaments with this color. My last tournament alone, I caught every fish on this swamp water blue rage bug. It absolutely catches them. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to put this thing to work right now. We're gonna strap the GoPro to our chest. We're gonna get our dash camera set up, and we're gonna do some flipping around, and we're gonna see if we can catch a couple fish on this, just so y'all can see how productive this lure is. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna drop the trolling motor, we're gonna get up here, we got a couple inflows of water coming in, we're gonna flip around. Let's see if I can show y'all how good this color really is, and maybe we can get a big one on it. All right, y'all, so I know I said that I was gonna strap this thing to my chest, but it is so hot and so muggy that we're gonna keep it on the dash and run it. But I've got the swamp water blue rage bug on right here. I have a 3/8 ounce tungsten with a bobber stopper and a 3/0 owner offset wide gap hook. That's what I flip it on. 20-pound test P-line fluorocarbon, and then I have this on the 7-foot medium heavy Lew's TP2 rod, and then I got that good old Lew's skipping and pitching reel right there. So let's get up here on the front, let's do some flipping, let's see if we can get us a big one. I'm gonna put one flip right here in these pads off to my right here real quick. But we do have some storms coming in this afternoon, but we have a really good current inflow, a swamp inflow right here. So I'm gonna work my way up to that, and we're gonna pitch around. Maybe we can get a big one, but I'm sure we're gonna catch one on this bright blue that everybody thinks is crazy that I use, but it's an absolute fish catcher. So we have fairly muddy water. The water is a really good color for this swamp water blue. You know, like I said, if you're in a super clear, oh, I'm getting bit. Look at that right there. Look at that right there. Look at that. right there. Check that out. Literally haven't been fishing. That was my second flip. That was my second flip with that swamp water blue. Look at that right there. I think the sun is behind me. I don't think. Let's turn around so we get a little bit better lighting. That's one thing about a dash cam. The lighting, if it sometimes isn't very good. He actually looks like might have a piece of a hook in his throat. Let's help this guy out. That was a crawfish leg is what that was. But that is a bass right there on that swamp water blue. Bass number one. Let's see if we can catch another one. I'm telling y'all, this color works. Most underrated color there is in a soft plastic. Let's let him go. That was awesome. You talk about being on cue. Second or third flip, I can't even remember, but let's keep working up to this ditch. Let's see if we can get another one. Oh, look at that. I was looking at my finger, down at my finger when I was talking to y'all. A leech came off of him, and there's a leech on my finger. We're gonna put him back where he came from. All right, let's keep going. I tell y'all, it is so hot and muggy right now. We got storms, you know, moving in this afternoon. I wanted to get out here and get this video made for y'all just to try to help y'all catch more fish, because if you watch my channel, you know I use this color a ton. Just use it a lot, and that's because it's so effective. And I just wanted to just show it to y'all, just because a lot of people may not know about this color. You know, a lot of people, they you know, they'll stick to your very traditional green pumpkins, or you know, your black and blues, you know, your black and blue flake, you know, stuff like that, which are all great fish catchers, and they all produce fish very, very well. But just this brighter blue, this swamp water blue, sapphire blue, whatever brand of plastic you use is basically, you know, what the name of it is going to be. But it just absolutely catches fish, and it catches them so good. So we're going to see if we can get one more fish as we work up to this ditch, and we might go out on the river and fish up a stretch and see if we can get a bite up there. But that was awesome to get bit that quick. There we go. Here's another one. Little guy. This time it's a little teeny guy. There y'all go right there. It's a little guy, but it's another fish on swamp water blue. We got us another one. Let's let him go. Let's see if we can get one more. See if we can get us a good one. But like I said, I'm telling y'all, swamp water blue, underrated. Absolutely underrated when it comes to flipping soft plastic colors. Most underrated color, in my opinion. 100%. All right, y'all, so I went upriver. The water is absolutely running so hard, it's crazy. So I came back down to this outside bend where we started the video off at. We're gonna see if we can get one more down here and finish the video out strong with a good fish on this swamp water blue. There he is. Oh, good one. Good one. Look, just pulled up and got a doggone 3+ pounder on that swamp water blue. Absolutely epic. I mean, you cannot beat that right there. Absolutely choked down his throat. I know the lighting, once again, just the way the sun is facing is not great, but we're gonna get this hook out real quick. And man, what a beautiful fish. We're gonna turn around real quick. I pitched up there, it was a little cut in the bank, and I pitched up there, and that fish immediately thumped it and started swimming off to the side with it. Like I said, I'm telling y'all, look at this beautiful fish right here. Absolutely gorgeous. Got that swamp water blue, sapphire blue, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, this is swamp water blue, but all these blue variations, absolutely catch them. Beautiful fish. Look how fat that thing is. Man, what a nice one. We're gonna let that fish go right there. And I'm gonna tell you, that couldn't have worked out no better. I went upriver, fished for 30 minutes, didn't get a single bite. Came back down on this outside bend, got absolutely thumped. And look, linked in the description below, they're down there. Be sure to check them out. It's a Bass Pro Shops link. Get you some raised bugs in this swamp water blue, or try any other bait in that bright blue color. I'm telling you, it absolutely works. So I got to get right and finish this video. The currents, you can see, is taking me into the woods almost in this bend, but such a good time out here. I was only out for a little while, and I just wanted to tell y'all about how effective that blue is. Be sure to get you some, add some to your arsenal. You will catch some big bass on them as well. I appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you next time on Gunfish TV.